Looking at the list of films at the Tribeca Film Festival can be daunting. The categories are seemingly endless, so it's difficult to decide which films are worth your time. While the festival, which starts on April 18th and runs through April 29th, provides an opportunity to see potential Oscar-nominated films in advance, the annual New York City event also gives movie buffs a chance to see films that might not get a lot of distribution. Once-in-a-lifetime Q. Tribeca Film Festival is a chance to get a first look at groundbreaking films that will be the topic of conversation for the next award season. From documentaries to narratives, see below for the independents picks for the must-see flicks of 2018's Tribeca Film Festival. Disobedience, credit, Bleecker Street. In this story about Orthodox Jews in love, Rachel Weisz portrays the daughter of the community's esteemed rabbi who comes home after her father passes away. Upon her return, Weisz discovers her ex-lover Rachel McAdams married the rabbi's mentee, Alessandro Nivola, after seeking counseling for her urges. This will likely be one of the most talked about films of the festival, covering the intersection of love, religion and the LGBTQ community. The American meme social media often shows the highlights of someone's life and their personal brand, but it doesn't show the isolation, depression and backlash that comes along with having a popular social media presence. Voiced by the creator of the selfie herself, Paris Hilton, the American meme serves as a cautionary tale as it explores the lives of this generation's social media stars, including Hilton herself, the Fat Jew and Emily Ratajkowski. Duck Butter. Alia Shawkat and Lia Costa star in the Miguel Arteta-directed film that centers on two women who are worn out by dishonest relationships and their pact to spend 24 hours together without interruption, having sex every hour. While their romantic experiment is meant to, their romantic experiment intends to create a new form of intimacy, but it doesn't quite go as planned. The miseducation of Cameron Post after getting caught having sex with a girl on prom night by her conservative guardians. A teenage girl, played Chloe Grace Moritz, is sent to conversion therapy where she meets fellow misfits Jane Fonda, Sasha Lane, and Adam Red-Eagle, Forrest Goodluck, in recovery. The film, that takes place circa 1993, is a coming-of-age story that is a poignant, touching tale that shows what happens when you try to change who people really are. Diane. This narrative, directed by Kent Jones, tells the story of a small-town woman named Diane, Mary Kay Place, who has spent her life helping others to avoid her own issues. She tries to get through to her drug addict son who pushes her away, all while feeding the homeless and visiting sick friends. Diane is a vulnerable portrait of reckoning with one's own identity and the desire to bury memories rather than confront them. The Rachel Divide. The Rachel Divide is one of the most divisive films at this year's festival. This documentary follows the former NAACP head Rachel Dolezal, a white woman who believes she is a black woman. The documentary follows Dolezal, who became a controversial figure, and her troubling past in life with her sons and her adoptive sister Esther. It's a film likely to generate a gamut of opinions. Little Woods. This dramatic thriller chronicles the relationship between two estranged sisters who are driven to extremes in their hometown of Little Woods, North Dakota after their mother dies. A dramatic thriller set in the fracking boomtown of Little Woods, North Dakota, two estranged sisters, Tessa Thompson and Lily James, are driven to extremes when their mother dies and they're left to pay her mortgage. The sibling bond narrative and focus on the timely economic collapse make writer-director Nia DaCosta's debut a must-watch. Zoe. In this futuristic sci-fi romance, a computerized test has been created that can determine how compatible two individuals and androids, called synthetics, can be. This story focuses on Zoe, Lee Seydoux, and Cole, Ewan McGregor, who develop the romance while working in the research facility developing this test. But their relationship ends up resulting in larger, philosophical questions. The film is even compelling just looking at the cast, with supporting roles from Rashida Jones and Christina Aguilera. Blowin' Up. The term "blowin' up" refers to what happens when a woman leaves her pimp. This compelling documentary centers on an experimental Queen's Court that advocates for women charged with prostitution or human trafficking-related charges to help them exit the life. Blowin' Up highlights the complications and victories of the subjects through counseling sessions and the inner workings of the court system. State. Like Sleep. Following the death of her husband, Catherine Waterston travels to Brussels, where she untangles a web of secrets about her late husband's enigmatic last days alive. As she follows his footsteps into the underground club scene, she meets a mysterious crowd and a man, Edward, who becomes a romantic option as she confronts her past. The noir-like movie also stars Luke Evans and Michael Shannon. Backroads in Alex Pettyfer's directorial debut, which he also stars in. A young man, Pettyfer, must care for his sisters after their mother, Juliette Lewis, is incarcerated after killing their abusive father. He ends up having an affair with a married woman just as family secrets begin to arise and affect the entire town. The moving film shows the aftermath of abuse and trauma as well as the complexities of love. The night eats the world. After a crazy party that Sam sleeps through, he wakes up to the worst morning of his life: blood-stained walls, a deserted apartment building, and streets filled with zombies. The worst part is he's alone, barricaded inside for months as he grapples with his own sanity. The Night Eats the World, which stars Anders Danielsen, Golshifteh Farahani, Dennis Levant, is an adaptation of Peter Garman's novel and tackles emotional fragility with the need to survive. The Seagull, credit, Sony Pictures Classics, a beautiful adaptation of Anton Chekhov's classic The Seagull chronicles a seemingly wonderful weekend between friends and family in the countryside, but nothing is as it seems. The tragicomedy reveals an entanglement of romantic life: Nina, Saoirse Ronan, lusts for Irina's, Annette Bening, Bo Boris, Corey Stoll. At the same time, Masha Elizabeth Moss is dealing with her own case of unrequited love. It's the combination of complex characters in this intense setting that make The Seagull a layered story. All about Nina, this narrative feature follows the story of alcoholic comic Nina, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, who flees her abusive ex-boyfriend, Chase Crawford, moves to LA and finds love with the compassionate Rafe, who is the exact opposite of him, Common. The raw film is highlighted by a shining performance by Common, and examines the intersection of trauma, abuse and misogyny in stand-up comedy. Blue Night. Sarah Jessica Parks stars as Vivian in Blue Night, an accomplished singer who experiences a devastating doctor's visit that sends her reeling through the streets of New York City. As she deals with the sad situation alongside her band and manager, Common, she also avoids her clingy mother, Jacqueline Bisset. This French New Wave-inspired drama sees Parker's Vivian reflecting on her past and future, and also stars Taylor Kinney, Renee Zellweger and Walid Zuetter. Reuse content.